Today's property is in the town of Irvine, home of the third largest shipbuilding port in Scotland. Irvine is also home to the Scottish Maritime Museum, which boasts the largest collection of shipbuilding tools and machinery in the country, making Irvine a popular spot for tourists visiting Scotland. Irvine's been settled in since the 12th century, but was the last of 5 Scottish sites chosen for redevelopment in 1966, making it both the oldest and newest new town.
I'm in Mill Park, which is a 10-minute drive away from the centre of Irvine. We're close by to the A71 and the A78, making this easily accessible for any commuters. Now, given that Irvine's a new town, this means a lot of the properties are quite modern and up to date, which is a bonus for any buyer. The property we're here to see today is a detached 2-bed house with a guide price of £125,000. Let's take a look. Wow, so this is obviously a great property. This front lounge is really spacious and it's obviously been newly renovated, so there's not really going to be much for any sort of buyer to do. I think this would be perfect for a first-time buyer or even a buy-to-let market. Now let's take a look through here. Wow, so this is a nice kitchen. A wee bit small, yeah, but as you can see there's quite a lot of modern appliances here which aren't going to need to be replaced, not for a long time anyway. The one thing I can see here is this boiler. It's a bit of an eyesore, but I'm sure something could be done to cover that up if the buyer wants to do that to sort of bring it back into touch with the kitchen. Anyway, this leads out to the back garden, so let's see what that's like. As you can see, this is a spacious garden with lots of unique woodwork. The only problem could be is that it backs onto the train line.
If our buyer's looking to extend out the kitchen, they'll definitely need to look into getting some planning permission. But one thing's for sure, whoever buys this property isn't going to love the early morning train noises.
Okay, well, we're quite tight for space up here with quite a small landing, but it's nice that we've got these big windows behind here to add brightness into the area, and it really makes it feel a lot bigger than it actually is. Now, let's take a look at one of these bedrooms. Okay, so this is the smaller of the 2 bedrooms, but as you can see, it's still a really decent size. The previous owners used this as a sort of office / spare room space, but there's easily enough space for a single bed or even a double. Now, I think this big window really adds a lot of light into the room. One of the things I'm thinking is that the buyer is going to have to really consider storage space because there's not much of it in here as it stands. So it'll be interesting to see what they actually do with that in the long run.
We brought in local estate agent Alex to see what he thinks of the property.
The property itself is in good condition, it's got a good space and there's not much changes needed. You could let it or even sell it and still get a good price back for it.
But is there anything the buyer can do to bring the guide price up?
You renovate the garage, add a few extra bedrooms and that'll add a few more £100 to the guide price.
So what is the property looking to sell at?
At auction, this house will go for about £125,000.
So, with the estate agent estimating this house at about £125,000, it is quite a steep mark. Now, there's not really that much to be done, so it is a good property, and hopefully someone will fall in love with it. Let's see how it does at auction.
420, 425. Yes. Was there another bidder here? 425 in the middle? If not, is 420 with you? 425 on the left. Well done. 430. 435, 440, sir. 447, couple of thousand, might just do it. 447, 445 on my left with you, madam. 445, another crack. 447, if not 445. First time, second time, third and last time. 445, well done. Sold, and you're not even on the camera.
And the property went to first-time home developer 23-year-old Ashley from Clydebank.
Hi, so it's so nice to meet you.
Oh, it's so lovely to see you as well.
So, is this your first property that you've bought?
No, this isn't my first property. I'm actually in property development and I do have a few flats that I rent out to students.
Oh, really? Okay, but this is your first house then?
Yeah, so this is my first big project house.
Oh, okay. And what do you plan to do with the place?
So with the place, I noticed that there was a garage. So I was thinking maybe building on an extension there as well.
Okay.
The boiler is kind of an eyesore in the kitchen, so maybe try and build something to kind of hide it.
Okay. I also noticed the kitchen is quite modern, but it's quite a small space. Would you consider potentially extending on that at any point?
Yeah, so maybe extending into the garden. However, the garden is big, but there is a decking next to it, so it might be a confined space in the garden.
I see, yeah. And once the property's all done up, what do you plan on doing with the place?
So with the place, I plan on renting it out to maybe like younger families and stuff like that as well. However, my plan is to sell it on.
So long term you want to sell it on, yeah? So how long do you think this project's going to take you?
Well, for me, I'm going to give myself 2 to 3 months just so I can have enough time to budget and schedule and then buy materials and source people and stuff like that.
Of course. And what kind of budget do you have?
So I have a budget of 15 to maybe 20 grand for the renovation.
So we saw at auction the asking price was £125,000. Now, you've paid over the limit for that. Are you thinking budget-wise you've already spent quite a lot?
So yeah, I already have spent quite a lot, but there is more to be added on.
So you think the project that you're going to undertake here is really going to add value onto the house?
Yeah, so there is a lot of potential obviously with the garage and the garden as well.
So how did you actually get into property development?
So I got into property development, it's kind of like a family thing.
Ah,
So what it was my dad passed away and I got more money for inheriting, and that's how I kind of started it.
okay. Well, I'm excited to see how this property turns out then for you.
No problem at all, thank you.
If Ashley wants to consider extending the kitchen or garage, then she's certainly got her work cut out for her. But in the meantime, there's only a few things that need fixing up with the current state of the property.
It's newly renovated, but the buyer has taken on quite an ambitious project. Looking at her time constraints, the amount of money she has to spend, and the fact that she actually wants to add more space onto the house, I'm worried that she's not going to be able to achieve it in time to get new tenants in. Although, I have been proven wrong before, so I'm excited to see what she does.